Those were also mailed out. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? If not, I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
There's a motion to accept the minutes and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're moving right along to new business. We have a resolution on behalf of the city approving the 2011 interstate program. Ms. Waller, would you read that resolution?
Resolution of the City Council of Magnolia, Arkansas, approving the 2011 interstate rehabilitation program. Whereas in 1999, Arkansas voted overwhelmingly by 41 margin for the adoption of the interstate rehabilitation program. Whereas the interstate rehabilitation program is financed with federally funded quality bonds and a 4-cent state diesel tax passed for that purpose. Whereas the interstate rehabilitation program organizes over 350 miles of interstate highways in Arkansas, and whereas Arkansas now has over 650 miles of interstates, with more reconstruction and modernization left to be completed, thus finishing the job started by the 1999 program. Whereas the new interstate rehabilitation program ballot issue will be placed on a special election ballot Tuesday, November 8, 2011. Whereas Arkansas voters at the special election must approve and authorize the Arkansas Highway Commission to issue a new round of quality bonds for the purpose of financing the 2011 interstate rehabilitation program designed to address the immediate needs of the Magnolia and the bonds of interstate. Whereas the issuance of quality bonds will not cause any taxes or any increase in existing taxes, but will be funded by future federal revenue and existing 4-cent state diesel tax. Whereas all of Arkansas will benefit for the 2011 interstate rehabilitation program because the interstate system makes sure the backbone of the state's road and highway network. Whereas the 2011 interstate rehabilitation program meets the needs of nearly $1 billion in interstate rehabilitation, creating over 27,000 jobs and bringing other revenue to local state highway maintenance, all without raising taxes. Whereas modern interstates will increase Arkansas's opportunity for more economic development for business and industry maturation. Now therefore, we, City of Magnolia, affirm our support for the passage of the 2011 interstate rehabilitation program and call on all Arkansas voters to vote for the ballot issue at the special election called for Tuesday, November 8, 2011.
There's a reading of the resolution. Sent you some information in your package. Is there any questions or comments? Do I hear a motion to accept this resolution?
Motion to accept resolution. Second.
Some motion and a second to accept this resolution. Could we have a roll call vote, Ms. Waller?
Mike Lewis.
Yes.
James Moore.
Yes.
Rodney Peterson.
Yes.
Larry Dowling.
Yes.
Margie Rice. Yes. Joe Cheatham.
Yes.
Jerry Farrah.
Yes.
Sam Whitelaw.
Yes.
Our next order of business is a resolution authorizing the city to contract with city employees and communication for computer-related sales and service. And just so you know that, I know you're aware that we have 2 computer outlet companies in town, and some of our departments are using Jeton Communication. And I was told in the past that I didn't need there to be a problem with there being a city employee, that we needed to put this out to you all in the form of a resolution. Does that sound pretty close, Mr. Bell?
Yes, the only reason this is here is because the city cannot do business with any city employee or a relative of a city employee without council approval. It's just to make sure that everything's above board. That's why this is here. That's the only reason this is here.
Any questions?
Now, we're just saying due to the employee relationship, that's all this is. It's not that we're only exclusively using it.
That's right.
That's correct.
And I have a laptop and I can barely run it, so it's not, I'm just making sure we're covered. Any other questions?
Okay, you be using them as an independent contractor, or will you hire by the city? This is just a independent.
On a need basis, we can call, which right now we're calling both. I see both people around city property. but one has a wife that works for the city and district court.
Mhm.
So we just called, whoever on a need-to basis. Any other questions? If not, could I have a motion to accept this resolution?
I so moved.
There's a motion and a second to accept the resolution. Ms. Waller, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Jason Moore,
Yes.
Rodney Peterson.
Yes.
Larry Callen,
Yes.
Margie Wright.
Yes.
Neil Cheatham,
Yes.
Jerry Garrett,
Yes.
Sam Whitelaw,
Yes.
Mike Lewis.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Waller. Our next order of business, I need a motion to authorize the city to accept free advice from the Secretary of State's office on the redistricting. The lines have got to be redrawn in the city. And Mr. Kelly Boyd will be here in town tomorrow with the Secretary of State's office with free software. And he'll help Aaron and myself and any of you that wish to be here, 10 o'clock. And he just needs a motion from the city council to allow the Secretary of State to assist us in this matter. And it's of no charge to the city. There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this matter? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Our next order of business is wait a minute, there we go. A resolution authorizing the mayor of Magnolia to apply for a GIF funding community grant on behalf of the Magnolia community. That was also in your packet. Ms. Waller, I'd ask you to read the resolution and we'll have discussion.
Be resolved by the City Council of the Mayor of the State of Arkansas under a resolution entitled authorizing resolution. A resolution authorizing the mayor of Magnolia to apply for a grant of behalf of the Magnolia community. Whereas the Magnolia City Council has determined that the Magnolia community is eligible for the requirements necessary to apply for a grant of the GIF for the community enhancement grant. Whereas the Magnolia community has presented plans to description of project renovation of an existing facility for the police station. And whereas the City Council of Magnolia recognizes the need for the project and purchase and plans and supports Magnolia's interest to receive the same. And therefore be it resolved that the mayor of Magnolia shall authorize to submit an application of amendment request to the Arkansas Development Commission for purposes of securing state grant funds in the amount of blank to aid and assist the Magnolia community in executing the proposed project structure in, and that the mayor or recorder treasurer of Magnolia is authorized to administer the grant grant for the same project.
Thank you, Ms. Waller. Back when I had a State of the City address earlier this year, I discussed helping in our police department, and this grant would help our police department get room that they desperately need. And if you ever take a tour of their current facilities, they're out in the halls, and we have small leaks throughout the building. This grant would be in the sum of $150,000. It would be to renovate the property that's owned by the city. We know it as the JC building on South Frederick. We have some drawings. I visited with Chief Proctor, got input from all the officers as to how best use that property, and it would give us more room. What am I leaving out that you need to know? Any questions?
If granted, is it 100%?
Yes, it will be $150,000. It is 100%. No, I know y'all like that. That's why I'm bringing those to you.
And we had an estimate on the drawings that we got.
Yes.
Under the 150.
It'll be close. I think we came at 168 was the number. But I talked to the gentleman that put the number to it, and he said that we can squeeze it and get it under 150. And Aaron, didn't I understand you to tell me that there was another grant out there that we're gonna look at that will help us fence that property also?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll work on that, and I'll bring that to you next month. But room is a big thing. If y'all get time, I'm sure Chief Proctor will gladly let you take a peek at what we're working with. And this looks like a good way to help our department. I did visit with some of the banks in town just to, run it by them, make sure they were good with it. The few I talked to were fine. I did leave one I've not spoken with.
When is the deadline on asking for that?
I think it's November the 18th, but I can double check that. This is from Southwest Planning. We've been working on this. We just needed this resolution. We've got everything ready to go but the resolution to turn it in. And y'all know grants. I hope we get approved, but there's always a line of folks on that. Any other questions or comments?
Should any other property come available, could it still be, does it have to be exclusively be used out there at the?
I wouldn't think so. I just, if we have city property somewhere else that I'm not aware of, I don't think there's a problem at all.
I'd say we do that.
No, it doesn't have to be used just at that location. I just figured with the amount of money that's available, we do have that property. And I'm not saying that it's hard to rent. We could rent it if we let it run all night, but we have a 10 o'clock time limit on it, which,
Probably we should get that.
yeah, and we don't, that is not ringing off the wall. I'd just like to see the property used if we could.
Well, the officers in favor of it, do they look at that as a good move, and also looking at you?
They do. Because it's gonna leave us room to grow. We're not gonna fill up that property once we've done it. It's gonna still have room to grow, and that's the thing I'm trying to think down the road, because Magnolia's gonna grow. I just know it and I feel it in my heart, so I wanna be able to grow with it. This department will give us room to do so. And I believe that location is in Ward 1, isn't it, Joan?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept this resolution? There's a motion and a second to accept this resolution. Could we have a roll call vote, Ms. White?
Ronnie Peterson,
Yes.
Larry Kelly,
Yes.
Marty Russ,
Yeah.
Neil Cheatham,
Yes.
Gary Farrell,
Yes.
Sam Whitelaw,
Yes.
Mike Lewis,
Yes.
James Moore.
Yes.
Thank you. Our next order of business, a resolution authorizing the mayor of Magnolia to apply for a wildlife recreation grant on behalf of the city. Earlier in the year, we applied for this grant. We were denied. Southwest Planning contacted me. We reapplied again. Put a little twist in there, and I shouldn't say that. That may spook you, but don't be alarmed. Sheriff Mike Lowe contacted me. Had some concerns with the shooting range being directly behind the jail. One of their patrol cars had a mystery bullet hole in it. And the sheriff just stressed to me that, they don't know if they're getting shot at or if someone's shooting at a target. He asked if there was any way that we could look at moving that, and I visited with the county judge. Again, we're going to apply for this grant, and we will take some of the property at the current shooting range and move it to the new location, which would be, as we know it, the old city landfill, which is capped, which is across the county road from the current Columbia County landfill. And there's not much we can do with that property since it's been capped. I've taken Southwest Planning to the location. We've looked at it. it'll give us room to also grow there, possibly one day an archery range. But again, we'll apply for that. I don't know if we'll receive it or not. If not, the current shooting range is operational every day, will continue to be, because it is used daily. You can just about go there any day of the week and somebody's there.
It's well used, Bobby.
Right, right. We'll have more room for parking. City inspector has kind of done a survey around the property. You know, house-wise, there's no houses that are adjacent to it. It would be in the range of the bullet. We'd have the big burn up. A lot of things we're changing. We're gonna use a cross-tie box to shoot into, just lots of things. We'd love for y'all to come by and, you know, just take a look. We're not just gonna go out and throw up some dirt and put up a paper target. We're gonna keep it safe to the public. And, we'd like to apply for this grant and see if it's possible to help the city and county grow and help the sheriff's office.
In the reapplying, do you think, I mean, you may have already done this, maybe a letter from Mike Lowe, go with the application, maybe sway them to how important it is?
Got it?
Yeah, are there any concerns from the people in the community about their safety?
I've not heard of anyone. I've not had any calls or, as far as the new location or the, no, I've not heard from anyone.
Don't you think that maybe we should try to get some feedback from the community about their concerns?
Well, of course, in my heart, I want to say yes, but the city inspector and I have gone to great lengths and, you know, looked around the property, and I've talked with Southwest Planning, and I know what we want to do and what we're going to do and keep safety first. I don't mind to visit with the people because we know where the homes are located. Mr. Nelson, how many homes would you say, 3 or 5 in that area?
In that particular area, about 5. The closest one is to the north at a half of a mile.
Okay, it's gonna be north of the shooting range, it will not even, okay. Well, I would like us to go ahead and with y'all's consent and apply for the grant. We'll contact the 4 properties that are on our side of the county road and visit with them, because I will not put the life of a human before that. We'll make sure that that's all done in a safe manner.
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion and a second to allow the city to apply for a wildlife recreation grant. Ms. Waller, would you call the roll, please?
Larry Bell,
Yes.
Margie Rod. Yes. Neil Cheatham,
Yes.
Gary Farrah.
Yes.
Sam Whitelaw,
Yes.
Mike Lewis.
Yes.
James Moore,
Yes.
Rodney Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, let's be sure and contact those folks tomorrow. Our next order of business is a resolution declaring certain structures, City of Magnolia, nuisance, condemnation on these structures. I put that in your packet. We talked about this early in the year. City Hall and City Attorney's Office have worked quite lengthy on this. Ms. Waller, I'd ask you to read the resolution, please.
Resolution requiring certain structures within the city of Magnolia, Arkansas, nuisance, condemning said structures, supporting the rehabilitation or removal of said structures, declaring the intent of the city to remove said structures, directing the city attorney to take such action as is necessary to remove said structures, declaring an emergency for other purposes. Whereas certain structures in the city of Magnolia, Arkansas have become dilapidated, unsightly, unsafe, and sanitary, obnoxious, and detrimental to the public welfare of the citizens of the city council hereby declares that the following structures constitute public nuisances. Any owners of the following described properties are hereby ordered either to build directly according to code standards or to remove these said structures. Address 617 Jeanette Street, legal description, the south 89 feet of lot 10 to 15 lot 3 of J.L. Davis Jr. subdivision of City of Magnolia, Arkansas. Placing itself to the south 45 feet thereof, and located in the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter of section 7, pension 7 seconds, 21 notice. Owner, William Jackson, 961 Columbia 405, Magnolia, Arkansas, 71753. Address 818 South Madison Street, legal description, the north half of lot 7, lot 6, in the city subdivision of the City of Magnolia, Arkansas. Owner, Terry Joe Sanford, at 23 South Madison, Magnolia, Arkansas, 71753. Two, pursuant to section 1332 of the amended code, notice of the time and place of this meeting is now to owners of said properties. I certify the mail returns that requested and informing the owner that the city council will take action on this matter. Three, a copy of this resolution shall be reported to the owners of said properties by certified mail. Return as requested, informing the owners that they have 30 days in which to relocate the structures to building code standards. The rest will remove them, and if they are not rehabilitated, the rest will remove within 30 days. And the city is directed to proceed at once to remove the rest of structures and prepare an itemized statement of cost of removal with inclusive payment pursuant to sections 1936-37 of the Magnolia Code. Four, if payment is not made within 45 days after receiving an itemized statement, the city is directed to sell at public or private vendor. If the proceeds from the sale are not sufficient to cover the cost, then the city attorney shall proceed to file a lien on the properties in order to recover the money so owed. Seven, the city attorney is hereby authorized to execute these said proceedings with any such person as may be necessary in order to enforce the provisions of this resolution, so as to remedy the unsightly and dangerous conditions brought about as a result of the further measures thereof to maintain the property.
Okay, we've had the reading of the resolution. Questions or comments?
I got a question.
Councilman Moore.
And when it says that they've got 30 days to get the job completed, or does that mean starting or what?
They have 30 days to make an effort in either repairing or taking down the structure. And the city, if they choose to take down the structure, the city will help them. But they have 30 days to move on it, do something, show us that they're making an effort. Again, this is our first round of condemning. The city is not taking anyone's dirt. We don't want the dirt. We just want the unsightly structure on top of the dirt.
Yeah, I talked to both Mr. Sanford and Mr. Jackson. You know, Mr. Sanford area is in my ward, is in our ward. And he has had some health issues, and he has contacted somebody to do this, which he said that he talked to David about it today. But 30 days is not going to be enough time for him to do it. And also I spoke to Mrs. Jackson. She plans to get some work done on it. I went down and looked at the structure. I mean, it's not too much worse than the one next to it. She feels like she's being pressured to get some things done, which I assured her that the mayor and the city inspector would not do anything like that.
That's right.
But 30 days is not going to be enough time for her to get her done either. You know, after 30 days, the city going to move on this or work with the people.
If the people will show us that they're making an effort to improve their property, I know, Ms. Jackson, I know the neighbors on both sides have spent money to improve those properties. And we, the city inspector and I, more he than me, started talking to Ms. Jackson early on. She's been notified by mail twice. I have personally talked to Mr. Sanford, and I've been by that location a number of times. His will just have to come down. Ms. Jackson's, she can spend some money, but surely 30 days is enough time for somebody to move on this, because we've been in the process now
Not
for.
necessarily complete, but.
No, no, if we just see some form of work going on, we're not gonna rush in and bulldoze anything. We don't want that. But we do wanna see that somebody is moving, not taking another 3 months, 4 months, whatever the time should be.
She should do that. The problem is that it's been too hot, and now that the weather is cooler, she, start working. And, Mr. Sanford also, he doesn't have a problem with it coming down. He just, doesn't have the $700, and he just contacted somebody that's gonna do it cheaper. Which he said that he told Mr. Nelson also today.
I'm just concerned, and I respect what you're saying, Councilman, I'm just concerned if we don't do anything with this, what message are we sending to the public? That is,
And I'm not trying to, hinder that.
I understand.
But, Mr. Sanford is a number one, and he says that he needs more time. And I think that if he's gonna make an effort to get it done, that we should work with him and give him, if it takes no more than 30 days, that we at least let him,
Mr. Sanford, we've sent him 2 gentlemen to take his property down.
We've seen one gentleman,
Okay.
offering to take his property down.
Okay.
One thing I want to clarify is the resolution states that it's 30 days from now, but it's not just yesterday that these people got the resolution. They've had time prior to today's meeting to do stuff on the property too. Just want to clarify that.
Thank you, sir. And where Mr. Sanford's concerned, we're not gonna rush out, because his is a financial one. And thus far, we've not spent any tax dollars of the city's money cleaning up the city. So if I don't have to start now, I'm not going to. But I just, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, I just think if we turn from this, that we're not sending the right message, that we're serious about this cleanup.
Now, how were these two picked? From what James is saying, Mr. Sanford's is unrepairable. But Ms. Jackson could possibly repair and sell.
Or could be lived in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious on how they were picked, because are there some out there that's nowhere near repairable?
Oh, there's, and there were 3 on the list, but 1 came in and paid.
Okay.
And these are not the only 2. There's going to be more. These are just 2 of the 3. No, you'll be getting more of this in the coming year. Because, Mr. Nelson,
I want to address, Mr. Ferris, how these 2 were picked. When Cornell and I started this program, I think I gave each of you a list of properties, had about 64 on it. After visiting with City Attorney Ronnie Bell, going through the process, sending just a generic letter to find out who owned these properties, we had to get a title search done on all of the properties. Greg Bennett at Title Guarantee agreed to do that free of charge for the city. Slowly, we're getting them. As we dwindled them down, a lot of people just stepped forward and said, that is my property, I give you the money. We're down to the bottom of that list of all the title guaranteed people, and these are the only 2 out of all of the list that has not come forward and said, here's my check. We're still waiting for another round from Greg Bennett's office to make sure we're sending the information to the right person. So as Parnell said, there will be more to come. That's just all we have at the time.
and we, Mr. Moore, will continue to try to help these 2 people. We're not gonna run out there in 30 days, I assure you, in this crowd, and take action. But we need these people to get moving.
so, that's understandable. And when I was talking to her, I assured her that we're trying to do the right thing. And, that we try to work with her. And her concern is that, give her 30 days, and if she doesn't have everything done, she might not
That's not my intentions at all.
Would it be possible the next meeting to have an update on how these have progressed and what status they are?
These two,
Uh-huh.
gladly.
These two individuals contacted your office.
Mr. Sanford has contacted me. Now, Mr. Nelson, I'm sure, has been in contact with Ms. Jackson. But it took this, to get them to start contacting us.
I was just gonna say, I drove by that property on Jeanette, and I drove by both of them. The one on Jeanette, there are 3 houses on that block. One on each side, well, the one on the right has already been painted up, somebody's living in it. The one on the left, they're replacing the windows, put a new roof on it, I don't know who it belongs to, but they are working on fixing that one up. The one in the middle does have the door standing open, and the window knocked out. The 2 on each side look like they're trying to fix theirs up.
And one property owner owns the 2 houses on both sides of Ms. Jackson, and he is putting money in those properties. And I'm sorry, y'all, but it's not fair to him to spend money to try to give good housing to our people, and then one in the middle.
I think those houses, when he started with, were just about as bad a shape as Ms. Jackson's house.
They were.
Yeah, because last time I was over there, those 2 houses looked just about the same, and then I thought they were working on both of them, but I went over there today, and I noticed the one on the left was to change the windows, and I said, got a new roof on it. So,
On the corner was very good.
yeah, the one on the corner looks nice, they painted it up, yard's cleaned up.
Mr. Sanford's property though, I don't know how it's still staying up.
I was by there today.
Well, Mr. Sanders doesn't have a problem with it coming down.
No, not at all. But just, it's a financial thing.
So we will wait.
We are going to work with these people. Okay? These 2 folks, the last on the list. Mr. Lewis.
Just being hypothetical, but now, I still think about some previous lawsuits that and this is not any individual, nobody up here that fault for my blame on anybody. But then I can't help but think back to the Columbia Street widening and just, it was a real purpose, so it was eminent domain, but I know this is condemnation of a different type, it's not eminent domain. But, what if the city tears down, we'll just say the Jackson Ladies property, and, without, obviously, without agreement to it, the house is gone, now, can we get sued? In other words, can she get an appraiser and come back and sue the city for the value of what she considers that house, or she and some other, appraiser, now the house is gone, and then the city is liable? Just being hypothetical.
We've got a number of, I don't know if this will help out. We have a number of pictures of every property. We keep a file.
Right, but those pictures,
May I address that?
Please do, ma'am.
As you noted, those issues are very dissimilar. We're not taking the property, we're not acquiring title. We're actually improving the value of the property, so I don't think the council should
on
be
each
concerned.
side, yes.
I don't think the council should be concerned in any respect about us having to pay the property owner for actually improving the value of the property because of the condition of these properties. So that's not anything that I'm concerned about, and I don't think it's anything you should be concerned about.
And
One more question. Now, within the 30-day period, if she starts doing some work on the house, how much above the 30 days is she gonna be giving her? What's gonna be considered enough to keep the condemnation from going through?
where Miss Jackson's home is concerned, the back kitchen area is, to me, and I'm not a builder, but that's the worst part of the house. Miss Jackson could put some money in this home and have a income. That could be good rental property. As long as she's making an effort, I don't think the city inspector or myself, either one, are gonna be jumping up and down. Now, I would hate for her to take another 8 months, if you will, but as long as she's making the effort, city inspector, I assure you, will be working with her. We're not gonna rush out and do anything hastily. Now, Mr. Sanford's case, I hope he can find funding because he wants his down. It needs to come down. There's a little difference there, but we're not gonna rush out in 31 days and take over Miss Jackson's home, but I don't need her to abuse the kindness of the city and take forever when she's got someone on both sides of her that has put money into a property, because I don't think anyone at this table would want to live in either of those houses beside Miss Jackson's property and raise our family. I think it's just fair that Miss Jackson get on the stick and get going.
And I think she will, but Mr. Nelson will deliver and tell what she needs to do as far as, keeping it from.
I can assure you that he's not a monster.
We just want to treat her like that.
Well, how was she inclined? Take it down or redo it?
She's gonna redo it. She's gonna fix it.
May I make a suggestion?
Please do.
Or at least, consider 30 more days. I mean, I'm assuming this will be put in the newspaper, the news media, to what we discussed about it. And I think we're all pretty serious about wanting these things cleaned up to the best of our abilities to get it done. And, I guess I'll say, I like to use the word table, but let's, after what we've talked about tonight, wait 30 more days, another meeting, and then if it's, go from there. It's just a suggestion I'm throwing out, and I'll see if something happens between now and the next 30 days.
And with respect to Mr. Lewis, I'd like for Miss Jackson to come in tomorrow and buy a building permit and get to putting some paint and some windows in the house and a door. But I mean, I
Yeah,
respect.
it's got the graffiti, I've been by there, it's got the what I'm calling the gang sprayed graffiti or something, whatever message it is, I don't know. I've got pictures of it I've taken too this week.
But this home that we're discussing with Miss Jackson, this is a home that can be saved.
Yeah.
So, but we need her to get moving, so I'm gonna ask you to pass the resolution tonight where we can send a message, and we're gonna start on our next round of homes. But she will have time. If it makes the council feel any better, we'll bring it back to you before we do anything with it. But I would like to send a message that we're ready for people to get going on these properties, because the city didn't create this mess.
I would've thought she'd been up here tonight.
Our next regularly scheduled meeting's on 2 weeks.
That's right.
Okay, if we don't have a regular schedule, I'll ask for consideration on 2 weeks, and if not, it's not a problem.
Is that a motion to?
Well, I'm not trying to, if I can amend it, I mean, just for 2 weeks, that's, I'm not there for that.
Mr. Bell?
Is there
Is
a,
that-
I don't think, has there been a motion to adopt the resolution yet? I don't
No.
think.
Not
So
yet.
you can move to table the resolution if you choose with respect to her property.
But I don't want to, I'd like to do that, but I don't want any print or any, I don't want to be misrepresented or misinterpreted that 2 weeks from now, I'm giving 2 weeks benefit of the doubt.
Well,
By tabling it for 2 weeks to the next regular scheduled meeting of the council.
To perhaps show some initiative,
Right,
building her now.
right.
For the,
Good faith issue.
Mayor,
Sir.
if I understand right though, if we pass this, she's got 30 days, if she comes up, she's evidently gonna hire somebody to do this, surely she's not gonna do it herself. She's got 30 days to come up with some kind of contract with somebody,
A plan.
a plan, and if she submits that, then Mayor says we're not gonna do anything to it as long as she's got a plan that she's gonna do something. And if they've already talked to her numerous times, then I'm looking at the fact that we're still gonna give her 30 days to talk to somebody to sign a contract or hire, whatever she's gonna do, or get an estimate or whatever she's gonna do about getting the test. I'm sure she's gonna hire some other, whatever, and then she can present that to the city, then that is good faith to me that she's gonna do it.
Even though that contract may not start for 40 more days.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to look at that first, but I mean, that gives her 30 days, she's got 30 more days to get something going that looks like she, and I understand she's gotta find somebody to do it. That, in 30 days, you can at least get somebody to give an estimate or a contract of what you're gonna do.
Mr. Nelson, you have a comment for the council?
I have a question for Mr. Bell in response to, if this was tabled, how much notice do we have to give and resend via certified mail to the people on this for resolution?
That's an excellent question, and the answer is we essentially have to start over. And I guess that's the concern I hear. There is there's a line between micromanagement and authorizing the officers to be reasonable, which I think this resolution does. But if you table it, then we start over basically. We have to send another letter, start over.
And we're sending certified mail.
Well, I think we're sending the wrong message if we table this. I think we've come to the point where the mayor's made a promise to clean these properties up. And all we're doing now is giving the people they've already talked to another 30 days to come up with somebody that's gonna do something. And if they come up and somebody's gonna take care of it, I understand from the mayor and the city inspector that we're not gonna do anything about the property. But we needed to get something going, and I think if we back off on this now, the next time we come up with something, what are we gonna do?
I'll make the motion to pass this ordinance tonight.
I second.
There's a motion and a second to pass this resolution on declaring certain properties. Is there any other discussion? Mr. Moore, I assure you will be working with Ms. Jackson. And if anyone wants to contribute to this fund, it's tax deductible. Feel free to. Because that'll help Mr. Sanford's house come down faster. There's a motion, sir. There's a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote, Ms. Waller?
Marty Russ,
Yeah.
Bill Cheatham,
Yes.
Gary Farrell,
Yes.
Sam Lightline,
Yes.
Mike Lewis,
Yes.
James Moore,
Yes.
Rodney Peterson.
Yes.
Larry Callen.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Last order of business is a resolution of accommodation and appreciation for Robert Gore. Ms. Waller, would you please read that?
A resolution of commendation and appreciation for Robert Bourne. Whereas Robert Bourne demonstrated the high standards of faithful, loyal, and dedicated service to this city throughout his more than 17 years as its chief of police. Whereas his outstanding integrity, leadership, dedication, and desire to make this a better community has had a positive impact on all citizens of this community. And therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Magnolia, Arkansas, and under the session assembled, that Robert Bourne be and he is hereby commended for his service to the city of Magnolia, state of Arkansas, and that this resolution be spread upon the records of the city in order that a record of his dedicated, faithful, and notable service may be preserved for and noted by future generations. Passed and approved this 12th day of September 2011, and it's signed by each councilman.
You heard the reading of the resolution. Is there a motion to accept this?
I so move.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'll ask Chief Proctor to deliver that tomorrow to Mr. Gore. Before we go, I've got numbers here on the smarter sentencing. These are the hours that have been provided to the city, 1,222.5. The majority of those hours have been spent picking up trash around this city. And as much as I love this city, we are a trashy town. I hope the media will help me reach out to the people. Stop throwing your trash on our streets. Please. I've talked to Chief Proctor. if you get caught littering, don't cry to me, because they're fixing to throw the book at you. Animal control, I met with them a few weeks back. There's an ordinance on the books about vicious dogs. Ordinance is 3-12. It was passed on October the 22nd of 2003. I assure you that I will enforce this ordinance to the letter. This dog situation's gotten out of hand. It's making it hard for good people. I've heard from both sides of this dog issue, and good people are concerned about their pets. This ordinance is on the books. I'm going to do everything in my power to enforce it before we ask to change it. And if anyone has any comments or suggestions, I would welcome them. I would ask the media to help me reach the public. A barking dog is about as bad as a vicious dog. Have respect for your neighbors. You hear your dog barking, disturbing your neighbors, please go and take care of your dog. I get as many calls about yapping dogs as I do vicious dogs. And I love y'all, but we've got bigger things in this city that need our attention than barking vicious dogs. I have copies of this ordinance if anyone would like to have a copy before they leave. If there's any questions, I'll hang around a minute on the dog issue. I want you to know that the city wants you to have pets. We just want you to control the pets. Is there anything else that needs to be brought before the city council at this time? If not, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So maybe.
There's a motion and a second. City council